Hello and welcome everybody to GoFormative number 50. You might think, well, 50 is the last one. I made it this far, so it should be the hardest one. It's actually the easiest one. So let's go over it to make sure that it remains the easiest one. This is about plotting coordinates. We went over this in September, and you guys have a lot of ability on this particular topic. So as a reminder, I wanted to make this so you could see. It might seem like a lot of information, but let's just zoom in on quadrant 1. There's 4 quadrants. And quadrant 1 is all positive, x, y, and we're just counting over and up, okay? And let me just rearrange these guys over and up, over and up. Always want to do the x first, not the y. So if it said 2, 1, we'd go 1, 2, and then up 1. If it said 3, 3, we go 3 and 3. It said 1, 4, we'd go 1, 4. That's quadrant 1, all positive. When you get to quadrant 2, we're actually going to go left from the origin, from 0, 0. We're going to count this way first, and then up. So if it was negative 1, 2, we go negative 1, up 2. If it was negative 3, 4, we'd go over negative 3 and then up 4. Left and then up. Negative x, positive y, negative, positive. A little cheat sheet there. Quadrant 3, both of these are going to be negative, the x and the y. So from the origin, 0, 0, we would go negative a number and then negative another number. So if it was negative 1, here. Negative 2, here. Negative 1, negative 4, here. Negative 4, negative 2. So both would be negative, and that's quadrant 3. Quadrant 4, the x is going to be positive, but the y is going to be negative. So 1, negative 1, or 2, negative 1, 3, negative 3. So the first one's going to be positive, but the next one's going to be negative. That's quadrant 4. That is a great cheat sheet to remember. Picture that. You need a picture of that. So that will pay off in AGS 1, 2, 3, and anytime you do some graphing, you'll need to know plotting, graphing. So what I have here is a little exercise for us to figure out together what these letters are. And you can play along with me at home. We'll hone in on a letter, and then you'll tell me what it is out loud, and then I'll tell you, and I'll write it in. So you'll get about a second to tell me. Let's start with A. For every starting place, you want to start in the middle here, 0, 0. That's called the origin. So if A is over here, I'm going to count my x first, then my y. So how many over is it? 1. How many up is it? 2. So I'm going to write in 1, 2. So find B. Here it is. Start in the middle. And we're going to count the x first. So go over and then down. And because you go down, this one's going to be negative. So let's count 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2. 3, negative 2. Find C. Found it. Start at the origin. And this time we're going to count the x going left and then up. So it's going to be negative, then positive. So go ahead and count that yourself. 1, 2, 3, negative 3. 1, 2, 3, positive 3. So negative 3, positive 3. Find D, start at 0, count negative 1, negative 1. We're going to the left and then down. Both are going to be negative. Find E, start at 0. E is just right here, so we're just going to count straight down, which means if I didn't have to move left or right, and all I'm doing is going straight down or straight up, then the X is going to be 0, because I don't have to do anything. But the Y is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's negative 4, because I went down. So anytime we go down, it's going to be negative. If you go up, it's positive. If you go to the right, it's going to be positive. If you go to the left, it's going to be negative. Can you find F? If I start at 0, 0, all I have to do is go up 1, which means the X is still 0. But this time, my Y is 1. Can you find G? Here it is. This time, I only have to count 4 to the right, and I don't have to go up or down. So because I don't have to go up or down, it's just going to be 4, 0. And H is 2 to the left, so that's me going this way. That's negative 2, but also I don't have to go up or down. So it's just going to be negative 2, 0. And if you need to see that again, just rewind, go back. Rewind sounds so old. Rewind. Yeah, just play it back. Rewind. Now we're going to place these letters on the coordinate grid. So from how we learned to count in the first one, we're going to place I at 2, 3. So we still same way. We start in the middle at the origin, and it's positive 2, positive 3. So that's what I want you to pay attention to. Look at the signs. They're both positive, positive, right? So as a reminder, from the very first thing I showed you, I had this thing, just one of the helpful tools, right? But here's the cool part. If I know that this is 2, 3, and they're both positive, I know they can only be in this quadrant because that's where the positive, positive would go. So I am going to put that at 2, 1, 2, up 3, goes right there. Okay, next one is J, and if you look at it, it's negative 1, positive 4. So which quadrant is negative 1, positive 4? This is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. So which quadrant is a negative then a positive? Quadrant 2. So this point is going to go up here somewhere. And we're going to go negative 1 and then up 4. You see where that would go? So let's take J on a little tour. Negative 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4. J is going to go right there. Okay, next one. Negative 2, negative 5. So where's K going to go? Which quadrant do you think? Quadrant 3. Negative, negative. See how it's a match? Negative, negative. So it's going to go in here. So we're going to go over 2 and then down 5. Okay, over 2, down 5. We'll move this guy out of the way. We'll move this guy over to its new home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, you have a 4, negative 1, a positive, then a negative. Positive, negative, quadrant 4. So we're going to go over 4, down 1. It's going to go right here. So let's do that. Let's bring that over. over 4 divided by 1. Okay, and there's only 2 more left. M is 2, 0, and N is 0, -5. So one of these is going to go on the x-axis, and the other one's going to go on the y-axis. Remember that when you're doing your coordinates, x goes first. So when you're reading these, you're basically saying that's 2 on the x, and it didn't go up or down at all. So we need to find 2 on the x. There it is. And that's where that one's going to go. Whereas the other one is -5 on the y, which is right here. Okay. So this is going to be N, and that's M. All right, that's your little tutorial on plotting, which I'm sure you already knew before, but I wanted to make sure you knew. If you look at this lesson, it's going to ask you questions based on what I just went over, and it even shows you again how to do it in more detail. And if you need to rewatch the video, you definitely can. But I've just prepared you to do this one. If you get something like this, you're plotting the shape A, B, C, D, it's going to make a shape. So as you do that, making shapes is fun. So as long as you know how to plot them. And that's it. It only goes to 10. You're just drawing shapes. This last one says find the area and perimeter. So if you're making a square or a rectangle, just remember the area of that square or rectangle is the base times the height, and the perimeter, you're just counting the sides. So keep that in mind. Thanks for watching.